Hello, Sanford. You are watching the Coyotes Football Network. I'm Jonathan West, and welcome to the Howler. As the Coyotes get ready for more play in non-conference action. But, bigger thing to talk about is they're 2-0, ranked number 20 in the nation. The Coyotes are off to a phenomenal start this year. They've upset Oregon. They came back and dominated Rutgers after a slow start. The Coyotes have just been really a team not to mess with when the second half begins, it seems to be. So I'm very interested in this week's matchup against the Pitt Panthers. It's going to be a very interesting one. We'll talk more about why it's going to be as interesting as I think it will be later on in the program. But let's talk a little bit about recruiting and the situation that's been going on as of late with the Coyotes. So far, the big names, Maurice Brent, Clayton Fink, Tristan Newsome, and Terry Robinson, haven't really shown a lot of interest in the Coyotes. There is still a fight for all of these guys, and Terry Robinson will be visiting this week. But the question is, can the Coyotes get any of these guys into the building to commit? It's an up and down situation here. This is the number 20 ranked team in the nation. There's not much interest being shown by these top tier talents, apparently. I'm a little shocked by that, personally. But nonetheless, we'll live with what it is so far. Connor Matthews, though, still very interested in the Coyotes, the quarterback out of Canada. Chad Nichols, the defensive tackle out of Vermont. It's pretty much a guarantee at this point that he will be a Coyote from all accounts. He is very interested in coming here. And wide receiver Jaden Baker, probably the biggest shock of them all, not wanting to follow his brother Joe into the Coyotes' offense. So very interesting situation there. The other wide receiver Sanford's been going after, Mason Schimmel, also looking more so to Maryland instead of the Coyotes. And tight end Ryan Schimmel, his brother on the other hand, well, he is looking towards the Coyotes. Much more of a receiving, kind of built like a receiver tight end. So it would be kind of as if they were getting Mason to some extent. Now, we did talk early this year about two recruits that just didn't want to come to Sanford. And one of which is Anthony, and I excuse myself for this pronunciation, Pezzoletti, who didn't want to come to Sanford because he didn't believe he would get the time to play. And according to what else I know, he wasn't a big fan of the style that Sanford ran. Now, another recruit, Casey Kyle out of California, plain and simple, he wanted to stay close to home. I feel like if he didn't care about playing close to home, he would have definitely been a top priority for Sanford. But, you can't make him want to leave. For the AAC Players of the Week, it's both from the Bearcats of Cincinnati as David Williams, the quarterback, and Jay Thomas, the corner, win those awards. So far, the standings, though, for the AAC, it's, the Coyotes, the Huskies, the Bulls. That's who reigns on top with not a single loss. Now, there have been pretty much no conference games played so far, so you really can't say anyone has a chance just yet, seeing that no one has really gotten the edge in the conference situation. However, with a disappointing start for Houston, 0-2, it's going to be really tough for them, and a lot of people thought they would be one of the top teams in the AAC. Now for the top 25, UCLA still runs that show at number 1 in the nation. Ohio State there, number 2, rising from number 4 last week. And a lot of risers recently. Not many people kind of sticking to their spot. A lot of guys going up the board. UNC falling last week. They fell from 8 now to 12. And this situation plays right into the hands of Sanford, who is sitting there at 20. They're sitting there at 20 just waiting for other teams to fall. so they can rise. I think this is a great concept, especially with Sanford going into a bye week next week. So they could rise even higher, even in their bye week. But in the AAC, there's some fun games to watch. You got UConn headed to Alabama. That ought to be an interesting one. I know Sanford faithful will be enjoying the beat down there. SMU takes on Baylor. NC State at Memphis ought to be competitive. Miami of Ohio as well taking on Cincinnati. But the game we'll be watching and I'll be talking about is the Sanford Coyotes hosting the Pitt Panthers. Right now, Kirk Herbstreit has the Coyotes as his favorite to win it. So, once again, Sanford favored in this ball game. The question is, can they live up to it? Last week, we saw them come back from 2 interceptions. We saw them come back from that second half hit, and they were killer in that second half. We'll see what they can do with a team that is very injured at 2 pivotal spots, safety and quarterback. Pitt does not have their starting quarterback, which really is going to hurt them very badly, I would assume. You see what damage it did against FSU, 38-17 in their last matchup, but I mean, it should do a ton of damage as they're up against the secondary who has shown they can be quite deadly this year. Not many turnovers, but they have been playing the ball extremely well. Not to mention they're up against a very, very good defensive line unit. So expect for a lot, and I mean a lot of pressure more than likely to be coming the way of the backup. Adrian Williams was the starter. He'll be out for, I believe, the number of weeks is 10. So they will be without Williams for most of the season. They'll get him back right at the end. I think it'll be a little too late for the senior. It'll just be time to impress NFL scouts at that point. So true freshman Alfred Parker will be starting in his place. He's 19 of 37 for 287. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So to keep that in mind, it is a young man who has never had a starting season in college football. A true freshman walking into Sanford. It's going to be tough for him. So look for a lot of Thomas Stewart, the running back. He's seen only 22 carries so far. 140 yards, he's got 1 touchdown, and he's averaging 70 yards per game so far. So expect Thomas Stewart to probably see more of a workload this week than he's used to. Now, wide receiver Cornelius Douglas going to get looked at a lot, I'm sure, by the young quarterback. Parker more than likely going to be looking at Douglas a lot, seeing that he is the number 1 target. But Keith Darby and Dustin Jordan have done a good job of shutting down top receivers. Now, the defensive side of things for Pittsburgh is the deadliest side of things for Pittsburgh. Nathan Howard, the senior left end, well, he is a literal monster. 5 solo tackles, 2 for a loss, and 4 assisted. He's already got a sack on the year. Had 12.5 last year. Keep that in mind. All across from him, you have Caleb Chambers. Now, Chambers, not as much of a sack machine. He's more your run stuffer. But he can still cause some chaos. So expect this offensive line having to work harder than ever to stop these 2 big defensive ends. In the middle of them, Larry Barrett. And Barrett, once again, another powerhouse. He's got 7 total tackles, 6 assisted, and 2 tackles for loss. I mean, this is a deadly defensive line. I'd say it rivals Sanford's. Now their top corner is Terrence Jones, and he's got 2 interceptions already this season. So you gotta be weary of Jones, especially if you're John Scott, who's thrown 4 interceptions already. You don't want to be averaging 2 picks a game this year. You really don't want that happening. John Scott's looked very good when we've seen him. 80% completion percentage. That's unbelievable. He does have the 2 picks averaging a game here, but he has looked extremely accurate, extremely focused, and has found a way to make big plays happen. So keep that in mind. So this is huge for him. And of course, with Scott, you got to look at number 1 receiver Josh Williams, who has had a great start to the season. 163 yards on 8 receptions, 1 touchdown, averaging 81 yards a game. And of course, no drops so far. On the defensive side of things for Sanford, Justin Moss has been having a very, very good start to the season. 11 solo tackles, 1 assisted, 5 tackles for loss. And of course, he's already on that sack board, taking over for Big Joe Irvin. I think he's done a very good job of taking that lead defensive tackle spot. And that secondary, of course, led by Dustin Jordan. He has been a solid player. He has shut down players already and has already forced 1 fumble. He's got 6 solo tackles and 2 assisted so far on the year. He is just a phenomenal corner. It's going to be fun to watch him against Douglas this week. As we take a look at some of the clips from practice, the question's got to be, really, for the rest of the season especially, how good is this team? Because we've seen 2 kind of different teams, I'd say. There was the team that showed up in Oregon, which I think was a team still trying to find itself. And we're lucky enough to come away with the win off the Jackson Stone late field goal. And then you had the team last week against Rutgers in the home opener. That was a team that in the second half figured out what they needed to do. They found themselves, and they brought the firepower. Now the question is, what team are we going to get this week? Are we going to get a team that knows what to do, a team that knows how to attack, a team that knows how to put points on the board, or are we going to get a team that's still trying to find really exactly what they want? That's going to be the big question, because if we're able to get that second half of Rutgers team, that's a national title contending team. That is a team that when the game against UCLA comes up, I don't think anybody's worried about that situation. But if we get the Oregon team again, there's going to be some question marks. Because that team's skittish. That team doesn't look like they're ready to go. It's very, very iffy going into this ball game. We've seen 2 different Sanford not only offenses, but defenses. They have to find a way to really combine both and get the best parts of each. The late game heroics of the Oregon game and the second half domination of the Rutgers game. If they can find that, put those together this week, I mean, there's no questioning that Sanford's going to come away with another W, be 3-0 on the season, and look like an actual contender to a national championship this season. And I do say I have to give a lot of credit to Coach Wolf for really finding a way, as well as offensive coordinator George Barnett, for finding a way to get an offensive scheme that has really worked for John Scott. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what they've done with this young man this year alone to really have him fit into this offensive scheme. So a lot of questions surrounding this team going into this weekend's ball game. And I still think a lot of questions are surrounding John Scott with his 2 interception average. We'll see exactly what this team is made of on offense going up against that Pitt defense, and maybe the toughest defense they face all season long. And I'm talking tougher than a rivalry game against UConn or even defending national champions UCLA. That's all the time we've got for this edition of The Howler. We will see you folks this weekend as the Sanford College Coyotes host the Pitt Panthers. I've been Jonathan West. This has been The Howler on the Coyotes Football Network. We will see you this weekend. Hello, Sanford. You are watching the Coyotes Football Network. I'm Jonathan West, and it is time once again to hashtag defend the den as the Sanford College Coyotes host the Pitt Panthers in another non-conference matchup. And the Coyotes rocking their black tops, white pants, and their silver hats today, as they're not feeling beat-em-ups, but they are feeling like a tough football team, that is for certain. This team has been one of the top teams when it comes to defense and passing yards allowed. They have not allowed a ton of passing yards to come their way. They're looking to make sure that Pitt can't pass on them here today either, with their backup quarterback in the ball game. So it's going to be a very interesting day to see how Sanford deals with Pitt's backup, and if that causes a giant issue for the Panthers, as well as what Sanford team will we get as we are underway here. Jackson Stone boots it and right to the back of the end zone as they take a knee. Well, the Panthers out in the gun to begin. Parker hands off to Stewart, as I think we all anticipated. Thomas Stewart with a 5-yard gain to begin things. Second and 5 as they quickly go into some no-huddle offense. Man in motion is King, as Parker will hand off to Stewart, and he's going to fight his way up for a gain of 10 and a new set of downs for the Panthers, as their no-huddle continues once more. Looks like they're going to go non-stop here with their style of offense, and they're going to keep it on the ground, and Stewart's got another first down. 16 yards, and he is already slicing up this Sanford rush defense. First and 10 here. Shotgun formation still as the play comes in from the sideline. Parker takes the snap, throws short to Simon on the small curl, and it's going to be a 5-yard gain for Joe Simon. Second and 5. Their no huddle still being a big weapon, as Parker takes the snap, and he gets hit just as he gets rid of it, and that will be a reception for Thomas Stewart. 9-yard gain and another big first down. This defense is having a hard time with the Pitt offense right now. First and 10 out of the gun. They'll go back to the ground with Stewart. This time, though, he's bottled up. He does only gain 4. No big run for Stewart this time around. Second and 6, as Parker goes to Walters, and he finds room on that screen. It looked at first like he wasn't going to find anything, but he does find 5 yards, as it is 3rd and 1. As the defense chants are loud here in the den, as Parker goes option, he's taken off, and he's held up short of the marker. That was Daniel Clemens that brought him down. And look at this, 4th and 1. Pitt going for it. They bring the pressure, and he connects with Clark in a very nice block there to give Clark even more room to run a 10-yard gain. And it's another first down nearly at the 10-yard line. First and 10 from the 11. Handoff goes to Cook. He's bouncing off defenders and finds 9 yards. They are 2 yards away, folks, from the end zone. Second and 1. Play comes in from the sideline. Parker takes the option. He's got room into the end zone as he's dragged down by Dylan Trevor. It's a Pitt touchdown to start things. This is not the way Sanford wanted to begin. As we'll take you to an update, Miami falls to Clemson 34-24. Clemson undefeated so far this season, 3-0. Oregon does the impossible and upsets UCLA 34-24. The defending champs fall as we head back here to Sanford to see the kickoff for Chad Riley to return. Some good blocks. He's got running room up past 35, past the 40, down at the 42. Great return by Chad Riley, who has really shown some great ability in the return game this year. 1st and 10. Scott goes play action to begin, and he'll check down to Garrett Theory as he's dragged down for a gain of 4. And I'm a little questionable of why there was no face mask. That looked like it might have been a little high tackle. 2nd and 6. Scott connects with Adam Gillette over the middle. 7-yard connection and a big first down for Sanford. This new offense with a much heavier passing attack has worked very well. We'll see if it can continue to find the success as they now go to the ground game, but it is stopped immediately by Pitt. 2nd and 9. Handoff goes back to Baker, but once again stopped for only 1 yard. He's not finding a lot of room here. 3rd and 8. Shotgun formation. Scott looks to throw. Over the middle, connects with Joe Baker. First down, gain of 12 yards. Coyotes keep the drive moving. They're in Panther territory as Scott looks to throw. And he checks it down to Gillette, and he turns it into a much bigger play. 18-yard reception. It was about an 8-yard reception to begin. And then Gillette turned it upfield, and a great play. About an extra 10 yards on the run there. Great play by Adam Gillette, as now it's a first down inside the red zone. Scott looks to throw off a play action to the end zone. It's knocked away. Nicholas Miller there got a hand on it as it was intended for Garrett Theory. 2nd and 10. Scott hands off to Baker. He's got blockers. And into the end zone goes Baker as he stumbles. Touchdown Sanford. They tie the ball game up. Well, pending the extra point. But a nice 16-yard rushing touchdown for Joe Baker and some great blocking out by Gillette and Gutierrez. We've got another update for you as another upset takes place. The Red Wolves of Arkansas State defeat the South Carolina Gamecocks in a big shocker, 34-31. Welcome back, everyone, here to Sanford as Pitt's offense back out on the field. Parker looks to throw. He's dragged down, though. Dylan Crosby, the young defensive tackle. I called him a redshirt freshman earlier this season. He's actually a sophomore. Forgot it was his true freshman year last year. Saw just a couple of snaps. But another big sack for Crosby is 2nd and 13. That is Walters on the reception. 20-yard reception. A big first down for Pitt. As 1st and 10, Parker to throw. They like that play a lot, but it falls incomplete as Sam Williams laid the hit. 2nd and 10 now. Shotgun formation. Parker goes on the option. He's got room to run. Breaks off a 1 tackle from Justin Moss as he'll gain 6. 3rd and 4 now as they're back in their no huddle. Parker fakes the throw, then throws it, but off target. That'll fall incomplete and force a punt. Well, Sanford's offense is back on the field now, and they go back to the ground. Tom Joseph gets this handoff. First carry of the day for that young man. 4-yard rush to begin things. 2nd and 6 is Scott dropping back. Connects with Newman for a second, but it's out of his hands. Falls incomplete. 3rd and 6. 33 seconds between us and the end of the first as they go screen. And there are blockers for Joe, as that is a big 14-yard first down. Sanford continues to get this drive a-going. As this will be the last play, it looks like, of the first quarter. Scott swings it out to Joe Baker, and he'll find room. That's going to be a 3-yard gain. Enough for a solid outing, and it will take us to the end of the first quarter. All tied up at 7 apiece. Anybody's game as Sanford has control. We'll be back with more here on the Coyotes Football Network. Welcome back, everyone, to the Coyotes Football Network, as that is Tom Joseph on the run. A 9-yard gain to start the second quarter of play. As it is 1st and 10 after the 9-yard gain. And look at the option for Scott. He tried to dive. He feared the tackle. Luckily, didn't lose the fumble. But wow. He tried to dive when head first, lost the football. Luckily, that's all that happened. As 2nd and 10, they go option for Baker, but that doesn't work out. Tyrese Baker dropped by Brett Fry. Just think if Scott hadn't fumbled, we'd be in a much better spot here. But 3rd and 14. Scott looks to throw out of the shotgun. Wide open, it's Josh Williams. Big first down, 27 yards. His first catch of the day is a huge one. It was 3rd and 14. And they make the big 27-yard play. Phenomenal play on 3rd down leads to 1st and 10. They go back to Joseph and right up the gut. Plenty of running room. 13-yard gain and another new set of downs. Tom Joseph looking very nice right now. As 1st and 10 pitch goes to Baker, but he doesn't have a lot of running room there. A loss of 3 as Michael Phillips, the man that brought him down. 2nd and 13 now. Scott dropping back from under center to the end zone. Taking away Brett Fry. As that one is picked. And that is a big mistake. They were in scoring range. He wanted Patrick Jackson. Unable to hit him. Connects with Brett Fry instead. And it is a huge Pitt interception. 1st and 10 now for the Panthers. As Parker takes the snap, setting up a screen here for Thomas Stewart. He's got room, brought down after a 7-yard gain. As the no huddle begins again here, Parker fakes the throw as that is a 4-yard gain on the option. Parker just decided to take off and it worked out for the best. 1st and 10 now as the no huddle continues. They go option again. This time, though, it's not going to work out as well. Only a 2-yard gain brought down by Daniel Clemens. 2nd and 8. They continue their no-huddle offense, getting the play from the sideline. It's another option. Parker, though, has to run the wrong side, and he fumbles. Picked up by Daniel Clemens. It was a safety combination that worked out there. Pat Riley forces the fumble with the big shoulder, and it's Daniel Clemens that comes up with the recovery. So some safety teamwork. 1st and 10 now for Sanford in great field position after the fumble by Pitt, and there's Josh Williams. 23 more yards. He's having a great day already, and he's only got 2 receptions. Now they have to answer the interception, though, that they threw last drive. Scott has to answer for that as 1st and 10 once again. Scott dropping back from under center. And no, it's intercepted again, intended for Patrick Jackson a second time. As Macklin, the man that came down with it. And I believe he had Garrett Theory open over the middle. Decided not to go there. But another big mistake is now Pitt's back on offense. As Parker takes off and able to get nearly enough for the 1st down. The no-huddle offense continues here. In the shotgun formation as they get the play from the sideline. It's a handoff to Stewart, and he's got the 1st down and just a bit more, as that is a 3-yard run. 1st and 10 once again. As we'll see what they can do here. It's another option for Parker as he takes a shot. He avoided taking one from Clemens, but takes a big one there. And it's an 8-yard gain. 2nd and 2. They continue this no huddle. And it has worked as Thomas Stewart finds the smallest of holes to go through. A 5-yard gain and enough for the first down. As 1st and 10. Once again with this no huddle, Parker hands off to Stewart. This time he's bottled up. A loss of 4. Shea Faraday brings him down. There's the big defensive play this defense was looking for. 2nd and 14, and it looks like somebody decided to jump a little bit early. The false start will move Pittsburgh back 5. And this plays right into Sanford's hands now. We're looking at 2nd and 19. Parker hands off to Cook. He's bottled up quickly. A 5-yard gain. It's still 3rd and long. The no huddle continues, and there is a man in motion. 3rd and 13. Parker in the gun, taking his time. He takes the snap, throws, connects with King, but he's brought down short. Gordon Sutton on the tackle. The young corner able to get the man down. That forces the punt as Sanford takes over with just a minute left to go. 4-yard run from Joe Baker there. 2nd and 6. Now 30 seconds remain. Scott looks to throw downfield. That's Garrett Theory. Big first down, 30 yards, and there's the first timeout by Sanford. The Coyotes looking at an opportunity here with 2 timeouts left. Downfield. Taylor Moore has it, but can't hold on. It was put right there for Moore. He just couldn't hang on to it. 2nd and 10. Scott looks to throw. Over the middle, connects with Adam Gillette. It's a 9-yard gain. They'll have to take, though, another timeout. 3rd and 1 now. Scott out of the shotgun. Connects with Williams. He's able to break off of a tackle to the 5. Touchdown, Sanford. As a huge play there. Williams able to make it to the end zone after shoving off one would-be tackle. And that is a great way to end the half if you're a Coyote fan. As he just brushes off one would-be tackler and heads right into the end zone. 1st and 10 now. 7 seconds left here for Pitt as Stewart on the run. He's going to find enough for the first, and they will take a timeout. So they're going to take one Hail Mary shot here. 1st and 10, 2 seconds. Everyone going deep. Parker chucks it up. And it is caught by Cornelius Douglas, 48 yards. But that's not going to get him any points, as that will take us to halftime. 14-7 Sanford on top, and it ended just the way the Coyotes wanted it to. We'll be back with more here on the Coyotes Football Network. Welcome back, everyone, to the Coyotes Football Network. The second half just getting underway as Joe Baker can't find any room on his first run of the half. As Scott on 2nd down, setting up a screen for Baker as he makes one man miss. Unable to make any more. It will be only a gain of 3 on that reception. 3rd and 7 now. Scott under center. He'll hand off to Tom Joseph. A little bit surprising there. It'll only be 3 yards. That'll force an early punt. I'm surprised they went for the run there. Maybe trying to get Pitt off guard. 1st and 10 now for the Panthers as Thomas Stewart takes the handoff. It's a gain of 5. Brought down by Matthew Fowler. 2nd and 5 now. Parker looking to throw. He's going to take off, but brought down before he could. That's Dylan Crosby for the 2nd time today. He is having a very nice showing in this one. Catching Parker twice now for a sack, as he is just making a name for himself in this game. Third and 9, shotgun formation. Panthers need a big one as they go to the screen. Stewart able to find a way away from one defender, and that is a 14-yard reception. First down for the Panthers. as it is 1st and 10 now. Out of the shotgun is Pitt. They look to the sideline following their no huddle. Parker takes the option, and he is going to run up for a gain of 7. But he looks down. No, he is back up. I thought he was down and out, but he's back to his feet, still running their no huddle. 2nd and 3 connects with King. That's going to be a 7-yard reception. Enough for the 1st down. It's 1st and 10. Parker just going deep and too far to the sideline. That falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up. Shotgun formation here for Parker. He'll hand off to Cook. Cook right up the middle, and he's just fighting through defender. 17-yard gain, and that is enormous for Pittsburgh. As 1st and 10 here. Shotgun formation. Parker takes the snap, looking to run, but he's brought down again. 3rd time today he's been brought down, and this time it's Kellen Herron on the tackle. He rotated in with the extra bodies, and that is going to be a 3rd sack by a defensive tackle this game. 2nd and 13 now in the shotgun is Pitt, but somebody got a little overzealous on that line. So another false start. That's going to bring them back 5 more yards. 2nd and 18. This is a very similar situation to what happened earlier. Parker takes the snap out of the gun, over the middle, finds Walters, and that is going to be 17 yards. They're set up now for 3rd and 1. As that no huddle continues, 3rd and 1. They go option as Parker fights through a defender, and he just rotates his way down to the 3. A 12-yard run. Parker showing some fight on that one. 1st and goal now, shotgun formation. Parker on the option again, but this time he's caught. He's brought down quickly by Dylan Trevor, not allowing anything there. It's a loss of 3 as Dylan Trevor on top of him. 2nd and goal. Thompson, the man in motion. Parker hands off to Stewart. Kellen Herron drags him down. It's a 5-yard gain. That'll set him up 3rd and goal here. Big situation for the Panthers. As they get the call from the sideline, they go to Stewart, and he finds his way in. Touchdown Pitt, as it's about to be all tied up here in this one. So Pitt has a very nice opening drive to their half, as Sanford now has to answer their scoring drive. Scott looking to throw, goes downfield, but he connects with Long. He wanted Garrett Theory, but connects with the linebacker Long, who was all over him. That is the 3rd pick of the day for John Scott. This has been a tough defense to go against, and it's forcing Scott into mistakes. 1st and 10 now once again for Pittsburgh, as they have a chance to take back the lead. Stewart, though, can't find anything on that screen. Clemens drops him for a loss of 3. This Sanford defense playing hardball as well. It's a battle of defenses at this point, just trying to make sure that the other offense can't get points on the board. 2nd and 13. Parker looking to throw. He connects, but that is off the hands. Falls incomplete. 3rd and 13 now. Shotgun formation here. Man in motion. As Parker takes the snap, they're setting up another screen for Stewart, but they're all over it. Sam Williams along with Dylan Crosby bring him down. 4th and 17, and that is a long field goal if they want to attempt it. That would be a tough one, I would assume, for their kicker, as Williams is the man who got there first, but Crosby cleaned him up. Well, it's 1st and 10 now for Sanford, as Tyrese Baker hands off to Joe Baker. 6-yard run, no relation there, by the way, folks, as they stay in their pistol here. 2nd and 4. It's a deep ball. That's Williams who got behind the defense. He's outrunning him. Makes the man miss to the 20. 10-5 touchdown, Sanford. Josh Williams has had the game of his life. Tyrese Baker with the 83-yard touchdown. Amazing. As we take you to an update. TCU currently over number 2 in the nation, Ohio State. 34-28 right now. The Buckeyes in trouble. First and 10 now here back in Sanford. 21-14. Coyotes on top after the long Josh Williams touchdown. Parker looking to run as he takes a shot from Sam Williams there. They're trying to force another fumble, you can tell. 2nd and 1. They'll go screen. King, though, can't find room. Josh Williams that is Sam Williams all over him. 3rd and 3 now after the loss of 2 on that tackle. Williams was quickly there. 3rd and 3 now. Can the defense get the stop? Handoff goes to Stewart. And he isn't stopped. That was a tight one, but they gave him the spot. 1st and 10 with just about 30 seconds left. Parker looking to run. He'll take off. And he takes another hit there. That's Sam Williams who got him last. And Parker's down. This is not good for Pitt. They got the first down, but in comes Boone, the 3rd string quarterback, and he takes a shot for coming into the game. 4-yard run there, as that will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Sanford on top 21-14, and Pitt now has to worry with their 3rd quarterback in the ball game. Welcome back, everyone, to Sanford here on the Coyotes Football Network. It is the 4th quarter of play, and Boone in the ball game. He finds Simon. That is a 9-yard reception and a first down. Frank Boone has to be worried. I mean, he's the 3rd quarterback. It all is on him now. Stewart gets the handoff, and that's going to be a 3-yard gain. And I don't think they have anybody behind Boone, so if he gets hurt, Pitt's in a lot more trouble. 2nd and 7 following the no huddle. It's Cornelius Douglas on the reception, a gain of 5. They continue the up-tempo offense. 3rd and 2. Boone looks to throw. He had all the time in the world, just chucks it away. That'll bring up 4th and 2 now. And look at this, the Pitt offense still on the field here. Handoff goes to Cook, but the edge was guarded. Daniel Clemens comes down to make the tackle. Sanford takes over on downs. Now all they have to do is make sure they keep the football. Scott connects with Gillette over the middle. It's a 7-yard reception, making a very manageable 2nd and 3. As they'll hand off on 2nd down to Joe Baker. He'll get enough for the first down. They'll give it to him. As Baker hasn't done a lot of damage today, but the passing attack has been deadly. 1st and 10. Scott hands off to Baker again. He finds a little more room up the middle, and look at that. 9-yard gain after that cut inside. So another nice gain there for Baker, bringing up 2nd and 1. They go back to the ground. It's Baker right up the gut. 5-yard gain and enough for the first down, averaging 4.2 yards a carry. Tom Joseph checks in, and that's going to be a 3-yard gain. Nothing much going there. As 2nd and 7, they throw again, but there goes Scott. He's brought down. Nathan Howard, I mean, you know, he's just a good player. It brings up 3rd and 13, though. Sanford, what you going to do is the question. 3rd and 13, they're going to throw. Scott across the middle. That's Taylor Moore. Big play, nearly into the red zone. 28 yards, and You know, the Pitt defense can't feel good now. As the handoff on first down goes to Joe Baker. That is a 7-yard gain out of that run from the shotgun. 2nd and 3 coming up. Scott drops back on 2nd down, connects with Pat Jackson, and it's enough for the first gain of 8. They're just taking what the defense gives them now. 1st and goal. Scott looking to score again. He finds Williams, but off his hands. The first drop of the year for Josh Williams. 2nd and goal. Handoff. Baker bouncing off tacklers and down at around the 3. So a 6-yard run, and that will take him down to around the 3 or 4 yard line. 3rd and goal from Scott. He'll go play action. He connects with Gillette into the end zone. Touchdown Sanford. It's a 2-possession ball game at this point. Pitt, you got a lot of work to do in 2 minutes. We'll take you to one last update. Memphis does defeat NC State 27-19. The Tigers over the Wolfpack. And we do have a final from TCU. Ohio State wins barely 35-34. Welcome back, everyone, here to Sanford for the final 2 minutes of play. Jonathan Stewart gets the handoff. Thomas Stewart gets the handoff. And it's a gain of 7 as Boone quickly back to the line. He throws to Stewart. 4-yard gain and enough for the first. As they are running faster than ever here now with this no huddle. Boone throwing downfield and overshoots Cornelius Douglas. So 2nd and 10. 1:38 left to go. They got to score quick. Boone to throw once again. Overshoots his intended target. Keith Darby was the closest man there. 3rd and 10. The defense chants are extremely loud here in Sanford. Boone throws and nearly taken away. Sam Williams had his hands on it. He can feel it. 4th and 10. This is the ball game if you're Pittsburgh. Boone looks to throw. Checks down to Stewart. He's got the first down. So Pittsburgh is not dead in the water just yet. As Boone quickly back to the line, connects with Saylor. As Saylor with a 19-yard reception. 1st and 10. Boone out of the shotgun, looks to throw. He's running out of time, gets rid of it. As it is 2nd and 10 with 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go in this one. Boone takes the snap, looking to throw, going downfield, connects with Cornelius Douglas in the end zone. Pitt's made it a 1-possession ball game. Now they need the onside kick. This is the game pretty much, folks, as the boot goes into the hands of Newman, and that will mean it's Sanford football. First down ends it 100%. 1st and 10. Gutierrez the man in motion. Scott hands off to Baker. And Baker looking for the marker. He gets close. A 6-yard gain. That'll set up a manageable 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4 here. Gutierrez, the man with the football. And he'll seal the deal with a first down. That, folks, ends it. Sanford wins. Another great second half from the Coyote football team, fully. Your player of the game, of course, Josh Williams, 182 yards on 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns. What a game for Josh Williams. NFL scouts, if you're watching, don't take this kid away from this program just yet. Wait 1 more year if you please. What a game by that young man. Now think where he's come from being suspended his first year here for 4 games to now being this big of a playmaker. Sanford beats Pitt 28-21. 3-0 on the year, folks, head into the bye week. It's a fun situation here in Sanford right now. Another great outing by the offense and especially that second half defense. Absolute dominance for the most part. Well, this has been the Coyotes Football Network. I've been Jonathan West. Thank you folks for watching, and we will see you next week.